Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm FZapple20. I got this nice little list of things here I was going to discuss maybe in the next live stream, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll just throw all this stuff into one video. Sometimes I do almost like a miniature podcast and knock off a bunch of subjects in one video. And then I started to realize before I even got there that this is all pretty stupid and it's not going to be good, and it's just going to be 15 minutes of what the hell did he just say? What's he talking about? And then maybe a laugh or two. So really what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read you the list of things that I was going to talk about, and I figure this will be just as good. So the first thing I had on here was, did you guys ever play board games? Obviously, you probably played board games, whether it was Clue, Sorry, Candyland, anything like that. Well, I too played board games, and then sometimes I'd play board games by myself. But this is where it gets a little dicey because sometimes I would cheat when I would play board games by myself to beat the other guy. The other invisible made-up guy that I created in my own mind, I would cheat to make sure I beat that guy. And that's about all I have to say about that. And then, being here on YouTube, spending so much time on YouTube, it's hard to avoid all the Snow White backlash. In fact, there was so much Snow White backlash that I'm starting to become a fan of the movie, and I want to go see it to support the new Snow White. I'm just a little puzzled by, now obviously I don't think it's good. From what I'm seeing and hearing, it's probably an awful movie. I just don't understand why people like me care so much. Like men my age, guys from the UK my age, seem to really be upset about this Snow White situation, and I just don't know why. I mean, look, if they had done this to Old Yeller, maybe I'd have a beef. But Snow White, I just can't really say really meant a lot to me. I mean, look at me. Do you think I cared about Snow White? And I don't think these fellas did either. All right, so where were we going to go after that? Oh, yeah, then there's people like myself who they don't have a lot going on, but they got a little something going on online. It's like, okay, you found yourself a little corner there. You're pretty good at that. So then they try to do 5 other things. Maybe they're good on Instagram, so then they try a podcast. Maybe they're good at making YouTube videos, and they're like, you know what? I should go do stand-up comedy. None of it ever works, and it ends up just really making the original thing they did seem a little bit more sad and pathetic. So I'm just sticking to what I do here, all right? Even though this isn't much, I've got my little corner and I'm going to stick to it. And then, I've got excited this morning. Like YouTube, they feature certain things each morning. Usually I'm not interested in it, but today it was fishing. Not the band, the actual rod and reel fishing, They have this big graphic. I got a playlist set up for you. The first one I click on was like YouTube vlogging couple. There was like an e-bike sponsor. The lady looked like a fashion model. Had nothing to do with fishing, really. It was just like, look how glorious we are. And we got some rod and reels, and we're going to throw some fishing terms out here. It was sickening, really. Where was Steve Ranella? There's plenty of good fishing videos. There's outstanding fishing videos. That is something they should promote. And then they put this dunce on there with her dork boyfriend or husband or whatever he was in their fucking e-bike. It was despicable. And then I was going to tell a story about one time when my friend and I, we were underage. We were on the University of Cincinnati campus. We were in search of beer. We wanted some beer, man, We were cool. We wanted beer. And so we run into this guy. We didn't have a lot of friends over. I don't know how we were having trouble scoring beer, but I just know we were like, damn it, man, we can't score beer. We went out on foot just to hit the streets of Cincinnati hoping to get lucky. One of the first guys we encountered was a fella who called himself Bones. He was at a bus stop. And first he said, sure, I can get you beer. But then that quickly, things went awry because then he starts trying to sell us hash. The beer was totally forgotten. Then he ends up in our car. Turns out he just really needed a ride. He didn't want that bus ride. He's in the car smashing up a pop can that was in my car. And he's going to, at this point, we're in over our head. He's directing us to this house. We pick up another guy. We're just like, what about the beer? But at this point, we knew we probably should have just called the whole thing off and tried to get this guy out of our car. But really, we were at his mercy. He could have done whatever he wanted. He could have robbed us. He could have stabbed us. He just could have taken my car and just kicked us to the curb if he wanted. I mean, this guy's name was Bones, and we were like 19 years old, Just way, way out of our element here. So we decided not to do that. What we decided to do, which really was the right call, probably saved our lives. We decided, you know what? we just got to fit in with this guy Bones. I was like, hell yeah, man, give me that pop can. And I fucking driving right through downtown Cincinnati, put a flare. Actually, he put the flame to it, man. He had some big crack lighter. And I sat there and hid hash out of a Mountain Dew can driving through downtown Cincinnati with my other underage friend, with a fella named Bones and his Mexican friend. I just point out that he's Mexican because he was, not to throw any shade at him. I mean, trust me, Bones was a white guy and he was way worse off. I mean, at least the other guy's name was like Pedro or something. You can go by Bones. All right, that's it. See, I could have turned this into 17 minutes and it would have sucked and nobody would have made it through it. But boom, we're out of here. Love you guys. Thanks. Watch out for those vlogging fishermen. Sad, man.